Hi everybody, welcome again to the Lexus Virtual Classroom. My name is Melissa O'Connell. I'm your Lexus Technology Specialist, and today we are exploring the 2020 Lexus UX. There are a few different equipment levels available on the UX. There's also a gas version as well as a hybrid version. So I'm going to have you come with me in a couple of different UX vehicles so you can see as many different features as we can cover today. If you have a feature on your Lexus that you don't see on any of the vehicles that we go over today, and you have a question, please feel free to comment below and I'll get back to you. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can be notified when we release new videos about Lexus technology. Thanks so much for tuning in. Parking sensors are integrated into the front bumper, the grille, and the rear bumper. Your Lexus UX has a smart access system with push button start. You just have to have your smart key on your person, either in your pocket or your bag. We've got the ability to lock, unlock, and an alert button. If you have a power back door, you'll have an additional button for power operation from the key fob. If you're using your alarm button to locate your vehicle in a parking lot, go ahead and change over to the Lexus app. Go ahead and change over to the Lexus app. Lexus Inform Remote is built right in. It also includes a feature that allows you to find your Lexus in its most recently parked location. Just zoom in for more detail. The new UX comes with a complimentary trial of all Lexus Inform and connected technology features. To use your smart access key, just keep it on your person. Put it in your pocket or your bag. To unlock the driver's door only, put your hand in the driver's door handle and open the door. Now, only the driver's door is unlocked. Now let me show you a really cool feature. I'm going to relock the UX, and I want to open the entire vehicle just by using the driver's door handle. Put my hand in the door handle, wait just a few seconds. Now the entire vehicle is unlocked. Pretty cool. That system really comes in handy for letting other passengers into the rear of your vehicle because you don't have smart access sensors on the back door handles. You can lock the UX with your smart key just by touching the indentation on the front of the driver's door handle or the front passenger door handle. Make sure to note that the fuel door is opened by a button just inside the vehicle. Smart key for a UX with a power back door will have a power back door button right on the fob. Just push to hold as indicated. The power back door can be closed with the button on the left or closed and locked with the button on the right. You'll hear a lower tone when you're closing and locking your UX. The UX has an optional kick sensor for opening the rear door. Make sure you have your smart key with you. Simply kick forward and retrieve your foot. Just aim between the two center parking sensors. You can even kick to close and kick to pause, then kick again to reopen if you need to. And finally, kick to close. To adjust the height of the power back door, simply push the power back door button, stop it at the height that you prefer, then push and hold. Once you hear the 4 beeps, you know the new position has been saved. To clear this position, push and hold. Wait for the 4 beeps, keep holding. When you get the additional 2 beeps, now the height position is cleared, and then you can start over. This UX opens manually, and there are two touch pads located just in the handle. They are linked to the Smart Access system. The large touchpad is to unlock the vehicle, and the small touchpad will lock the entire UX. Let's take a look at the cargo area. You'll notice that the tonneau shade is moving up whenever the door is open. That's because there are two connecting tethers that you can easily remove. To take the entire shade out, you want to unhook the two back loops. And there's a small catch that you need to just maneuver the loop around. You'll see the loop that's here, and when you slide it onto the post, you have to then hook it onto the back piece. When you're ready to fold your tonneau shade, you're going to just fold it like a book. I like to hold it with the rounded corners facing me. Gently bring the corners together, and then the rest of the shade will snap right into place. You don't have to work hard because you don't want to bend the frame. You want to make sure that you're following the contours of the natural fold. Hold it up or down, whatever's easier for you. Bring the corners together nice and easy, and everything snaps into place. So I'm doing it pretty slowly just so you feel comfortable with it, but once you get used to it, it's really simple. So hold it up, bring your corners together, and you're all set. Then you can put it in the storage pouch. So it stores nice and flat. So to put the tonneau cover back on, remove it from the pouch, fold it up, and set it aside. Carefully open this just so that no one is right nearby. Make sure that you have all of the attachment points facing the top. Hook on both back sections. And then the top connection. Nice and easy. Taking a look at the rear cargo area, you'll just lift up on the cargo cover, and then you can unhook the support cord. Just work the loop over this piece, unwind, and you'll hang it in the same spot that you attached your tonneau cover. Gently let it go, and then it will hold it for you, hands-free. So this UX has run flat tires, which means you do not have a spare tire or the toolkit for changing a tire on board. But all of the spots are there if you chose to add that equipment.
If you aren't sure if your tires are run flat tires, just take a look at the sidewall and it will tell you. See the symbol for run flats, and you might even see the initials RFT. Flat tires have a more substantial sidewall and are designed to be able to carry the weight of the vehicle for up to 100 miles at speeds below 50 miles an hour.
If your UX has wheel locks, just look for the lug nut with the wave pattern. And the wheel lock key will be located with the tools in the trunk. You also have the front bracket for your license plate. Make sure to hold on to that. And this is a tow mount. This allows you to attach this up at the front of the vehicle in an emergency if you needed to be pulled out of a really urgent situation.
There are two towing eyelet mounts at the front of the UX. and one on the right lower rear bumper. Make sure to consult your owner's manual for proper emergency towing procedure.
Normally, of course, you would have your vehicle towed on a flatbed by a professional tow truck driver. When you're ready to put your cover back, lift up, remove the loop, wrap the cording around, and then restore the loop to the bracket. And then place the cover back in its spot. You have a first aid kit, cargo hooks that fold down, and have a 4-kilogram capacity. On the left-hand side, you have another cargo hook and a 12-volt charger. Your cargo lights that are on both sides will come on and off automatically when you open and close the back door of your vehicle. There are 4 D-ring anchors that are located in the back so that you can add optional cargo nets. The second row of the UX can accommodate 3 child safety seats. To access the tether point that comes under the headrest, just look for the arrow, move your finger down, and then you'll find an opening that reveals the anchor point. The left and right side seats have the lower latch anchors. Just use your finger to remove the cover. Hold on to that for the future, and then follow the manufacturer's instructions for the installation of your car seat. It's always a good idea to fold your headrest down before folding your seat back. Push the release on the side of the headrest, lift all the way up until it clicks and moves to the hinge position. Hinge forward to click it into place. And then you can release the seat into its folded position. And then you can repeat on the other side. Lift up slightly, push the release, lift all the way to the hinge, and then release from the shoulders of the seat. To restore the headrest, push up and all the way down until it's in its locked position. Child locks are located on both rear doors. If you push it down, it's in the locked position, and then a rear passenger would not be able to use the door handle inside the vehicle to exit. You would need to open from outside. So if you don't have small children in the back, make sure that you have this in the unlocked position. Rear cabin passengers have an armrest, 2 center cup holders, and 2 USB ports for charging right under the rear air conditioning vents. Seat adjustments are just on the side of each front seat. You can move forward, back, raise the hip point, lower the hip point, raise the front of the seat support, lower the front. You can also adjust the seat back cushion, backwards and forward, and lumbar support. If you're in a UX with driver position memory, this would be your first step in setting your preferences. Your tilting and telescoping power steering wheel also adjusts on the left-hand side. You can push up on the toggle to raise it, pull down to lower, push it toward you or away. Mirror adjustment. Toggle left and use the touchpad to make your change, and do the same on the right-hand side.
If your UX is equipped with driver position memory, To save, just adjust your seat, your steering wheel, and your side mirrors. Then press the button that says Set, let it go, and push the button number of your choice. You'll hear a beep and it's saved.
For an adjustment on a manually adjusted steering wheel, just release the lever. You can raise and lower the UX steering wheel until you have it where you want it. Then lift up to lock it into place. Lock, unlock, lock the windows. If you lock the windows, this means your passengers can no longer operate the windows, but you can. On the left-hand side of the dash, you'll see up and down arrows that will change the brightness of your instrument display. Simply push the up arrow to increase the brightness and the down arrow to decrease. Also located on the left side of the dash is your odometer trip meter button. If you look here, while I toggle the button, you'll see your information change from trip A, trip B, to a blank screen. You have your odometer information. Trip A and trip B can be cleared just by pushing and holding the button, and then cycle back to your odometer. Moving down the left-hand side, you'll have a panel of buttons. If they're blank, don't worry. It just means those items are on a different package that's not on your vehicle. We'll go over a different model that has some of these features on board. An item that could be located in the bank of buttons on the left is active sound control. This will allow more engine sound to come through the cabin for a sportier drive experience. Simply push to turn it on. Moving down on the left-hand side of the dash, the fuel door button, the power rear door button if your UX is equipped with a power back door, and the manual latch for the hood. Let's get to know all of the equipment on and around your steering wheel. On the left-hand side, you have your headlamp adjustment. All the way at the bottom, everything is off, including daytime running lights. Twist up to auto, and then your headlights will come on as needed. You can also select parking or daytime running lights or low beam headlights. If you have manually turned on your headlights, you'll need to put them in auto or off when you exit your vehicle. If you have your headlights in the auto position, you can also engage your automatic high beams just by pushing the button on the end of the stalk. Push the headlamp stalk forward, and as long as you have your headlights in auto and the light indicating auto high beams are ready, you'll also see the indication on your dash that your automatic high beams are turned on. Windshield wipers are on the right side of the steering wheel. You can have automatic or intermittent wipers on a UX. If your wiper stalk says INT, you have intermittent wipers. If it says auto, you have rain sensing wipers. All wipers on the UX function by adjusting the position of the stalk and then adjusting sensitivity or speed on the dial. Let me show you how that works. At the very top would be a swipe for mist, and then you're in the off position. Come down and you're in intermittent or auto, depending on your equipment. Make the adjustment to have faster or more sensitive wipers, or slower or less sensitive wipers. Or come for a steady swipe down to low, and then at the bottom, high. So watch the wipers. Up for mist, and it drops back automatically and it drops back to the off position. Down 1 for intermittent or automatic, depending on your equipment. Down again for low, and all the way at the bottom for high. Back to off. The rear wiper is adjusted at the end of the dial. Intermittent, on, or off. You can spray and clean the front and rear windows. Pull it to you to clean the front windshield and push away to clean the back. On the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you have all of the controls for your multi-information display. That's the readout on your instrument panel. You can move side to side and up and down and make selections with the OK button. I'm going to be using all of these buttons and this return or go back a screen button to operate your multi-information display. Let's take a look at how that works. The F Sport version of the UX even has the sliding bezel that's straight out of the LFA flagship. It reveals the multi-information display on the left-hand side. Right now, we're in the information menu. We're able to scroll down using the down arrow to get additional fuel economy information, an eco indicator if we want to try to train ourselves to drive in a more fuel efficient way, tire pressure, a blank screen if that's your preference, and then pressing the down arrow again and we loop right back to the top. If I arrow to the right, I have a music screen. To the right again, I have my lane trace assist monitor, messages about service, and finally, settings. In the settings screen, we can customize whether or not we have lane centering turned on. That's also part of lane trace assist. Steering assist, and what type of alert we would like to get with lane trace assist. It's set to vibrate the steering wheel. We could change that alert to a chime. Most people prefer the vibration. You can adjust the sensitivity of your lane trace assist feature from standard to high. Pre-collision can be turned on and off. If you turn it off, we want to make sure that you know how to turn it back on. Most people prefer to adjust the sensitivity of the pre-collision system rather than turning it off. Blind spot monitor, on and off. You'll also see that indication in your side mirror. PKSA stands for Parking Support Alert. These are things that are going to beep at you when you're trying to park or back out of a parking place. Your parking sensors that we saw on the front and rear bumpers. Rear cross traffic alert that notifies you if you're backing up and someone is crossing behind the vehicle. You can also change the volume of this notification. Now we'll press the Go Back button and move back a screen, and then we can take note of our auto braking feature. The auto braking feature is linked to your parking support alert. If you're receiving a notification from your parking sensors or your rear cross traffic alert and you slow down but do not come to a stop, your UX will apply the brakes. You can customize the units from miles to kilometers, depending on where you live. If you open the vehicle settings menu by pushing OK, you'll see customizations for sway warning inside your lane trace assist feature. The sway warning will activate if your lane trace feature has given you multiple corrections in a row without much driver participation. That means your vehicle is worried that you're a fatigued driver and it's trying to get your attention so that you can take a rest.
Coming down to BSM for blind spot monitor. Previously, we were able to turn it on and off. This is where we can customize how bright it is and the sensitivity of how far back those sensors look for a vehicle in our blind spot. Push the Go Back button and come down to Road Sign Assist. You can turn it on or off. You can customize whether or not you get notified about exceeding the speed limit that the camera is able to detect. You can have no notification, visual only, or visual and audible. You can also customize your notification level. Are you notified 1 mile, 3 miles, or 5 miles an hour over the speed limit? Other signs are things like stop signs, yield signs, and right-of-way signs. You can customize that notification as well. Moving back, our tire pressure warning system and schedule maintenance notifications are customized at the dealership after you have a service. Moving back, meter settings. You can customize the language for your display. Again, units. You can choose a digital speedometer or an analog speedometer. Drive Info 1 and Drive Info 2 are fuel economy related screens that can also be customized. Push OK to open and select the item that you would like to change. Highlight it, push OK, and then scroll through all of the options for items that you can display. Make your selection, push OK, and it's saved. To view that item, push your Go Back button to move out of the screen. Push your Go Back button a second time to be back on the main menu. Arrow to the right, and you'll see that we've changed the second item on the Drive Info 1 screen. To find those settings again, we can arrow quickly to the left. Push OK, and then we could come down and customize Drive Info 2. We can also change our clock from a 12-hour to a 24-hour clock. We can determine whether or not we want to have a pop-up display on our instrument panel for phone calls, audio, volume control, and you can change the brightness display. You can customize the color. When you make this color display customization, you'll see it change on your main screen. From blue to gold, whatever you prefer. You can turn on or off your eco indicator, and you can also clear all of your settings back to the default settings if you prefer. Your telephone button to answer or hang up a call, volume for radio and phone, and voice command. This is a multi-purpose button. If you push and release, you're using the onboard voice command system. If you push and hold, you'll need to have an iPhone plugged in using Apple CarPlay or an Android phone plugged in for OK Google or Bixby, depending on your Android device. Moving to the right-hand side, you have all of your controls for your dynamic radar cruise control. Your power is in the top right corner. When you turn your cruise control on, you're going to see a message. Radar cruise activated. You'll also notice a symbol with a car and an arrow. The car represents the following distance between you and a vehicle in front of you. You'll adjust that here. Just push the button to toggle through.
Think of this as a buffer zone: long range, mid-range, and close range. To set your speed, push Set. You can also reduce your speed or increase your speed or resume if you've pressed Cancel or tapped on the brake to cancel. To turn off, simply push the power button again. If you would prefer to have standard cruise and not use the radar and following distance, just push and hold, and you'll see the symbol change from the radar ready symbol to speed only.
Lane Trace Assist is turned on and off here. When Lane Trace Assist is activated, the vehicle will notify you if you start to veer out of the lane without your blinker on.
Sound system buttons. The mode button is going to change you from your different music sources: AM, FM, satellite, Bluetooth, you name it, just keep clicking. If you push and hold the mode button, you're able to pause or mute audio. These arrows will move you through your radio presets. If you look just past the steering wheel, right in reach, you'll see a drive mode selector. Twist down for Eco for a more fuel-efficient drive, up for Sport for a more aggressive drive, and push in for Normal. You're changing the throttle response when you make an adjustment to your drive mode selector. You'll also notice a lighting theme change on your instrument panel: Eco, Sport, Normal. The left-hand side turns off traction control. You'll see the message on your display. Just push again to turn traction control back on. Moving up to the headliner, your dome lights operate just with the touch of a finger. Your dome lights have a door function. You want this button to be flush. If you push and it's sticking out, you've canceled the door mode. We want door mode on so that when you open a door, your dome lights come on automatically. You can adjust your moonroof, opening up or down at the back just to let in fresh air, or open and close completely. Your Safety Connect button is just behind a small door. All UXs come with a trial period for Safety Connect. On the lower right side of the dash, you'll see a button that says P for your emergency electronic parking brake. While we're down here, let's make sure to address the brake hold feature. We actually have a video that shows how the brake hold works in a real life driving application. It's in the description below. Make sure to check that out. But it holds the foot brake on your UX. So when you have your seatbelt on, you're in drive, and you've come to a complete stop, when you push the brake hold button, it will hold your foot brake for you. It's really handy if you're maybe stopped at a train or if you're in heavy traffic. Driver temperature, passenger temperature. Fan, click up to go up and down to come down. Put the fan in auto. You'll let the vehicle decide how much fan you need in order to achieve your temperature. Turn the whole system off. Front defrost, rear defrost, and side mirror defrost. Where is the air coming from? Recirculating air or outside air? Airflow mode. Do we want, let's turn it on so you can see, just feet, feet and defrost, just face, face and feet. Just scrolling and clicking through. Now on the screen, you have some additional items. If we open on the left, we can come to options where we see we can turn dual off. So right now we have a dual temperature. We have one temperature setting on the passenger side and another setting on the driver's side. So if we want to sync and come to a single temperature, we would turn dual off. Now, if you come back to the front screen, you'll notice as soon as the passenger adjusts their temperature, dual turns back on. Also notice this additional settings menu. See the little double chevron symbol? Well, guess what? It's right here. Just give a push, and that secondary menu will open that includes the dual button. Turn dual off, and you're back to a synced single temperature throughout the entire UX. Moving just below our climate control for the cabin, you'll find additional climate control items. This UX has heated seats for the driver and the passenger. They even have an auto mode, so the first time you push the button, the auto mode will be engaged. If you want to take over, just push again, and there are 3 stages of heat. You can even heat the steering wheel, which has its own auto mode, or manually engage. Driver's control for heated seats and passenger side. Let's talk about the lower center console area and the different controls that you have for your main screen. Starting at the front, you have a space where you could rest your smartphone right next to a 12-volt accessory charger. 2 center cup holders, our touchpad, and in a non-navigation vehicle, we have a customizable home page, our main menu, and then our go back button.
Navigation models will have a map button.
The touchpad is highly customizable as well. Just to make the CD collectors happy, we still have a single feed CD changer. You can eject with the button on the left, pause and play in advanced tracks right on the screen. You know how normally on a lot of vehicles you'll have a dial for power and volume and a tuner dial. You don't have those here. Your radio controls are all right at your fingertips. So while you're resting your arm on the armrest, your controls are right where you need them. You have power by pushing in. So this will click you off and on. You can adjust your volume on the dial. Then you have your radio and media shortcut buttons. These will open up the sound sources for radio, AM, FM, and satellite. And then, of course, media. That's going to be Bluetooth, or if you have an MP3 player or an iPod plugged in, just push the radio button and your radio screen will be on. Then you have the ability to seek. Now, these have arrows, but it does not mean they function in the same way that the arrows do on the steering wheel. The arrows on the steering wheel will move you through presets. The arrows on your audio controls are seek, either up or down the dial. Let's take a look on the screen to see how this works. Pushing the radio shortcut button, using the touchpad to open my presets, and now using the arrows on the steering wheel to move through my preset list. Now let's say I want to seek. Now I can use the arrows down by my audio controls. So notice now I am seeking, just going to each next available signal with a click. You can also tune. So if you're tuning, you're just advancing click by click. If you're seeking, you're jumping to the next available signal. Scroll with your tuner dial, you'll see the stations change right on the screen. When you want to save a favorite station, you're going to use the touchpad. You'll highlight the spot where you would like it to go, push and hold, and then it's saved. While we're on the radio screen, if you bring your highlighter to the left, it will open up a menu. All of your audio sources are available at the top. Radio presets are just below. A non-navigation UX has the ability to replay or cache satellite radio stations. It can store up to 1 hour, and you can pause, rewind, fast forward, or jump to live programming. Let's take note of another difference between navigation and non-navigation models. The audio system has slightly different capabilities. The radio replay with a navigation vehicle can cache 20 minutes of HD stations, even if they're FM, and they can still cache up to an hour of satellite radio. So the non-navigation has satellite replay, and the navigation version has radio replay for HD and satellite cache capabilities. Next is our station list, where you can explore different channels based on the genre. Then we have additional settings under Options and Sound. This is where you can adjust the treble, mid-range, and bass for your different sound sources. Make sure to note that you want to get each sound source playing before you make the change, so you can listen to it as you make your adjustments and get it set just the way you like it. So for example, you'll want to customize each source based on the type of programming that you listen to. Select your source, come to Sound, open treble, mid-range, and bass, and make your adjustments. Then push the Go Back button, change your source. For example, now we're on FM, because you probably listen to different types of programming on AM compared to FM or satellite. Come back to Sound, treble, mid-range, and bass. You'll see that it's all cleared because we've not adjusted our settings here. So we can go ahead and make our adjustments. And again, right now I'm not playing anything because we don't want to have any copyright infringement, but you would want to play your sound or play your music so that you can hear how these changes are impacting and customizing that sound for you. Then push the Go Back button, and then you can continue to make changes for other sources that you enjoy. Let's take a look on the screen to see how this works. And I'll talk you through what I'm doing. Pushing the radio shortcut button, using the touchpad to open my presets, and now using the arrows on the steering wheel, to move through my preset list. Steering wheel arrows, moving through the preset list. Now let's say I want to seek. Now I can use the arrows down by my audio controls. So notice now I am seeking, just going to each next available signal with a click. If I wanted to tune, you'll see it advance just digit by digit. Seek jumps to the next available signal. Tune just incrementally moves you up or down the dial.
Steering wheel arrows moving you through your presets. And arrows down by your audio controls. Seek to the next available signal or tune, moving you incrementally up or down the dial. Radio. Use the touchpad to open presets. Seek. Tune. Power, volume, media, radio, seek, tune. Moving along to our armrest, just push to open. You do have a little coin spot, and you have a nice spacious center console, 2 USB ports, and an auxiliary port. The USB ports are where you would plug in for Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So let's check out other items in our menu. We've gone over climate and audio. When you pair a phone to your vehicle, you'll be able to use hands-free calling through Bluetooth or your projection setup for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. If we come to information, you'll have trip information about fuel economy, vehicle alert history. Now this vehicle is too new, so there are no service alerts for this vehicle at this time. And then the electronic owner's manual. This is a great place to explore more information about your UX. You can search by table of contents, keyword, and visual is a really handy way to explore the e-owner's manual. You can tell it that you want to look on the exterior or interior, and then just slide through the catalog of options. It will highlight a particular section, and then you can click on it for more details. You also have some videos that are available right through the system. Going back to our main menu, setup. This is where you can make adjustments to the clock, to daylight saving, for example, falling back, springing forward with a click. There are all kinds of settings. One of the most important is projection settings. This is where you would turn on or off
permission for your phone to connect for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Bluetooth is where you will go to pair a phone to the system. Make sure to follow the video that's in the description below for an example of how to pair a Bluetooth phone. You would click yes on the system, and then you would open Settings and Bluetooth on your smartphone, and then follow the prompts to connect. Additional audio settings, the most popular here is to come to radio, number of radio presets, and then customize how many preset screens you have available on your UX. If you don't have a lot of favorite stations to save, just click 6, and then you'll have fewer stations to scroll through. But if you're a major music fan, keep it at 36 spots. Once you have a phone paired, there will be additional phone settings available. You can customize the volume of the sound settings on your Lexus, and you can even come into vehicle customization and make changes to door lock settings, climate control, lights, and additional services. Door lock settings is the most popular. People like to customize which doors unlock from the driver's door handle. All doors or driver's door only. Another item to check is valet mode. If you valet your UX, you can set a 4-digit code to lock out your screen. Scroll down to the next page for Wi-Fi settings. This is where you would turn on or off the hotspot for your vehicle. You can also come in and customize the password. On the bottom right corner, you have the ability to customize the brightness and contrast for the display, which is under General, and the view from the rear backup camera. You also can turn the entire screen off if you're driving at night and you prefer to have the screen off. That covers everything for a non-navigation UX. Now let's take a look at a navigation version. You'll see that the menu layout on a navigation setup is just a little bit different. It does include a destination search pin on the far left with all of the same search capabilities. Search by address or point of interest, the Go Home shortcut, recent searches, favorites, and contacts with addresses from your compatible smartphone. Another item that's different on the navigation versions is the weather. That's located on the menu in Information. You have the capability of viewing the current forecast, a 3-day forecast that will allow you to click into a particular day for more information, 6 and 12 hours out, previously checked locations, national and local locations, and even a Doppler weather map. The information is updated from the Weather Channel on a regular basis. It will note on the bottom right corner how long it's been since the last update. Let's go through our home screen and then our menu items. Push the home button, and then you find yourself on a multi-tiled home screen. This screen is customizable. To customize your home screen, push the menu button, come to Setup, and then just scroll to Customize Home Screen. The first thing to do is to decide which layout you prefer. Right now, we have a 3-tiled layout with 2 small tiles on the left and a large tile on the right. We can click Change Layout and choose the mirror image of what we've had previously, or the 2-tile layout, which is probably the most popular view. Then you can decide what you want to appear here. Most people like to have climate and audio. Since most people do prefer to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, they just choose to customize the home screen to eliminate that field. It's just not necessary to have that message because you could put something else there. So we go to Setup, Customize Home Screen, and then you can make your selection. You could change the layout just to the 2-tile format, and then you could do climate and audio, for example. Let's see what that would look like. Nice and easy. Right now I have the air conditioner off so that the fan is not blowing on the microphone while I talk to you guys. If you decide you want to go full screen, just click on the side that you want to open up. So push my home button, click on the side that I want full screen. UXs with navigation will have a map button down by the remote touch. Simply push the map button to open the map on your navigation screen. Let's cover some navigation basics. On the top left corner, if you highlight with your touchpad and then click on the compass, you'll be able to change the orientation of the map from north at the top to the direction you're facing, and even a 3D mode, just again by clicking on the compass on the top left corner. Moving down, you have your search pin. Just click to open up all of the different search features. Search by address or point of interest, or even with voice command. You can either click on the microphone icon, or from any other screen, use the talk button on the steering wheel. Find Starbucks.
Showing nearby Starbucks. Select the one you want. Say next page for more items.
Number 1.
To navigate to this point of interest, say go there.
Go there.
Starting guidance for a new route.
Then you can go ahead and highlight and click on the OK button on the bottom right-hand corner, or just start to drive.
Please proceed to the highlighted route, then the route guidance will start.
When you arrive at your destination, your route will end, but if you'd like to end it sooner, you can simply click on the X and then choose Yes, or even better, my favorite, voice command. Back to the talk button on the steering wheel. Cancel route.
Route canceled.
So simple.
Other great voice commands are the shortcut Go Home, or simply say Get Directions To and speak the entire address.
Moving down to our map information or map options screen, you can add point of interest icons. Make sure to have speed limit and traffic information showing on your navigation system screen. And then I would recommend keeping Route Trace turned off. Route Trace is fantastic. If you are in an area that isn't mapped thoroughly, then you can turn it on and it will leave little breadcrumbs. It'll leave little red dots everywhere you drive. Then you can follow your path out of your destination. When you're ready to turn it off and clear your screen, come back to the map options view, select Route Trace, and when it asks if you want to keep what has been recorded, if you would like to clear it, click No. On the bottom left corner, you can click on the plus or the minus to zoom in or zoom out. Another way to zoom in and zoom out is with the touchpad. Just simply bring your fingers together to zoom out and apart to zoom in. Here's how that works. Zoom out, zoom in. Pinch to zoom out, pull apart to zoom in to bring you closer into range. So even though this screen originally said navigation app, they're referring to a different type of navigation app that the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto will supersede. So if you want to use Waze through the Inform app suite, you can do that. Or you can use Waze through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on what kind of telephone you're using. When you plug in for Apple CarPlay the very first time, you want to make sure to give it permission. Always enable. Push Menu, go to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on your phone. Make sure your phone is plugged in through the USB. You will have multiple options, including Waze or Google Maps running through your smartphone system. Well, thanks for coming to the Lexus Virtual Classroom today. If you have any questions about your Lexus, please feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll be glad to get back to you. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can be notified when we release new videos about Lexus technology. Thanks so much, everyone. Stay safe and we'll see you soon.